Hey guys, it's James with Golf Fit, and yesterday I announced on Facebook some really big news that I am now a dealer for New Level Golf. And New Level Golf is a new company. They've only been around a couple of years. They make irons, wedges, utility irons, and as a component company, it's as good as any OEM that I've seen. I'm really excited. I've got the fitting system heads, the demo heads in, along with some demo wedges, and we're getting ready to take these out of the box, and I'm going to take you through some of the different models and give you an overview of the New Level line. It's most excited I've been with a new release probably since 2000, since Titleist released the Pro V1 golf ball. I've been in the business a long time, and this is the best looking component head I've seen outside of something like a Mura or something like that that's just almost too expensive for the average golfer. So I'm super excited about the line, the price range, everything about this company. So let's get in here and take a look at some of these heads. Okay, so in the box we've got the wrench so that we can actually take shafts, interchange heads and shafts while we're doing the fittings. I do have the shafts on order. Here are some of the fitting sleeves that'll go on the shafts once they get in. Let's just start grabbing now. Full disclosure here, I have already been into the box and seen these. Put these neoprene travel covers on them already. They came extremely well packaged. That's one thing that I can already tell about the quality of this company. They had about 4 layers of bubble wrap along with all the paper, the tissue wrapping. So I travel with these. I like these, so I've already put these on so that we can travel with them. So first out of the box is the Mod B1. This is a club that looks like a blade. I don't know if you can see that right there. It actually looks like a blade, but it's a game improvement iron. You can see the extremely wide sole right here. I don't know if you can see that, if it'll come into focus there. It has an extremely wide sole, an extremely beveled leading edge right there. That is designed to get into the turf and get out of the turf without digging and stopping, which your average golfer that doesn't play a lot tends to come over the top, hits it a little fat. That's exactly what they need. All the weight is at the bottom of this head, just like a cavity back, except the cavity doesn't go all the way around. It just goes right along the bottom. So there's plenty of weight that's built up here at the bottom. But can you imagine a set of those sticking out of the bag? It looks like you're playing a set of blades. So nothing wrong with scaring them on the first tee, But this is a game improvement iron, and this is actually the only model in the New Level line that is a cast club. This is not a forged club. So this is going to be right there in that mid-range as far as price point. But this is just an excellent looking club from the top. If you can get a good view of that from the top. From the top, it looks like a player's club. It has a little bit thicker top line than most blades. It has, you can see some of the perimeter weighting sticking out of the back from the top. But from the top, it really has a blade, really nice, clean look to it. Not a lot of offset. This is an extremely good-looking model. I imagine this would, especially for someone that used to be a good player getting back into the game, maybe was a single-digit handicap as a younger player, now maybe in the double digits. They were used to that blade or player's look, but they need that little bit extra forgiveness. This is going to be a perfect model for that type of player, or just the player that is in that mid-range as far as handicap and just wants something that looks like a player's club. This is going to be an excellent option. This is a great looking club head here. The Mod B1 from New Level. And you can see how the hosel is notched here with the screw coming out of the bottom of the hosel. This is their fitting system. I'll have multiple shafts that we can swap in and out as we're doing fittings, so that we can, you know, see, do we need, you know, a certain type of shaft, a certain length. When we go to custom build any of these sets, we'll have tested that exact shaft at that exact length before we order something and put it together for the customer. So the Mod B1, excellent. Oh, that's a great start. Okay, now this is their most popular model. This is the 902. This is their signature model. This is the player's cavity. I don't know if you can get a good look there. This is the forged iron. This is the slightly undercut cavity. Their forged irons are forged out of a single piece of carbon steel and then CNC milled for exact weight distribution in the back. They have CNC'd that little notch in the back of the cavity, if you can see that. What that does is that pulls the center of gravity slightly back away from the club face. And anytime the center of gravity is lower and further back in the club head, that produces that high launch, low spin that better players are looking for. The average player needs that type of forgiveness. So it really kills a lot of the spin that's going to hurt you, and it gives you that higher launch. So this is a definitely considered a game improvement forged perimeter weighted model. It has that thinner top line that better players like, very minimal offset, really nice rounded toe. I really like that. Some of the Mizuno models and some of the forged models, I've never really been, and it's just personal opinion, I've never been a huge fan of the sharp toe at the top, but this club has a really nice rounded toe line, thin on the top, but plenty of perimeter weighting along the bottom. And again, that undercut cavity, that pocket cavity that some people might call it, pulls that center of gravity down and back in the club head for that extra forgiveness, and just an absolutely beautiful looking forged head. And one of the things that struck me, probably the first thing that struck me when I saw this line, this New Level company online, when I saw it, I thought, if they look as good in person as they do on their website, then we're really onto something here, because I've been ordering and building components for a long time. I'm also a dealer for Washon, Tom Washon Golf. And, up until now, Washon was really the top of the line as far as brands that we could get that was anywhere close to reasonable in price, that offered a forged line, a forged cavity back, a player's cavity. But this, in my opinion, looks even better than the Washon. It's just cleaner lines. You can just tell the finish is a little sharper. Absolutely love the Washon line, absolutely. But this New Level Golf looks exactly like, or better than, any OEM that I've seen. I'd put this up against any Mizuno, any Titleist, any Callaway. I would absolutely, as far as quality of the finish, paint fill, all the lines where it's been milled in the back, the grooves, everything about this club, I would put up against any OEM and dare you to find any more quality in those heads than this. But this is their signature model, the 902. This is the player's cavity. This is the best all around. This is the best of both worlds as far as design, material, playability, forgiveness. This is everything in one club head. This is really kind of what put them on the map with the Golf Digest Hot List last year. It's very rare that a new company would already be on Golf Digest Hot List, but I can certainly see why. This club is just absolutely perfect. Best looking forged club I've seen in a long time. And I'm talking about any OEMs, and as far as component companies, best looking forged component head I've seen. Okay, so here we go. This is the 623M. Now this is the blade. This is the Players Club right here. This is super thin top line. You can get a look at that right there. Super thin top line, super minimal offset. This is the true muscle back blade club. This is really aimed at your lower handicap player. However, it does have some similar features here. It's got a seriously what they call rounded leading edge right there. You can really see it in the light here. It doesn't have a very wide sole, but there's a lot of relief on that leading edge right there to keep that thing from digging in and stopping, which is really signature of a blade. Most blade clubs, they like to dig in and stop, but this looks like it has an extremely turf friendly sole and leading edge on it. One of the other things I've noticed about this too, if you can see right here, they have milled out these slight undercut cavities right there on the bottom section of where all the weight is at the bottom. So I don't know that that's enough weight to start pulling the center of gravity back, especially when all the mass is right here in the center of the head. But what this is going to do is make a blade club perform pretty well on heel and toe shots, and that's not normally the case. That's not normally the design on a blade club or a muscle back club. But this 623M model, that is a serious Players Club right there. I am very anxious to hear some of the feedback from low handicap players, high club head speed players that are going to hit these demos with probably a Dynamic Gold, maybe X100 shaft or Project X 6.0 or 6.5, something like that. I'm very curious to hear the feedback from the better players when they hit that club. All right, now this is the 1126. This is also a forged head, but this is their Game Improvement Forged Club. This is a lot like the 902, very similar design, similar look, but you can see here, if you can see up close, this has a much wider sole, a lot more weight at the bottom of the club head, lower center of gravity than the 902, and this undercut cavity is even deeper than the 902, so that's going to pull the center of gravity even further back in the head. It does have a slightly thicker top line and looks like just a little bit bigger heel to toe, a little bit slightly bigger club head than the 902, a little bit thicker top line, looks to have a little bit more offset as well. So this would be aimed at the middle to high handicap player who's, you know, wanting the feel and the look of a forged club, but it probably is gonna, you know, kind of dot it all over the club face and need that forgiveness that this design is going to give you. And it really is a myth that a forged club is hard to hit. It doesn't matter what the club's made out of. It matters what where the center of gravity is. You know, I've read books that read articles that said even PGA Tour players, if you were to blindfold them and give them a forged club and a cast club, as long as the design was the exact same, they couldn't really tell you which one was the forged club. Now I have a little bit of a hard time believing that. I'd like to actually put that to the test someday, because the sound and the feel to me is slightly different on a forged club. But again, what most experts, and I think Barney Adams was the one that wrote that article that said that's what you're feeling is actually the center of gravity in the club. It's not really the softness of the metal. But this club right here is definitely designed to give you that low back center of gravity, to give you that extra forgiveness. This looks, I mean, just look, the quality of this club head is just so perfect with, you know, the lettering, the paint fill, the milled lines in the back, everything, nothing's out of place with this club head. So another absolutely great looking forged head from New Level. The 1126. This is probably going to be one of the most common I'm guessing that I build for customers just because of the extra forgiveness. Now, this club is not part of the fitting system, but I do plan on having a few different models of these to hit. This is the 1102. This is the forged player's cavity back for lefties. It's not very common for a component company to offer a forged line in left hand. So this is really nice to see, new level, such a new company coming right out of the gate, giving lefties almost as much as they're giving right-handed players, because this is a very nice mix of the 902 and the 1126. Not quite as much of a game improvement as the 1126, but slightly bigger club head than the 902. I don't know if you can see that right there. The 1102, very, very clean, nice looking forged cavity back, nice wide sole. You can really see that grind, the relief off the leading edge, which is pretty prominent on all these heads so far. So I'm imagining, of course, I've looked at the reviews, I've read a lot of the reviews from people that hit it, and they're all talking about that. I'm very anxious to see and hear the feedback myself and hit these myself to see just how turf friendly that sole is. Okay, now this, the wedges are not part of the fitting system either, but I do plan on having several of these put together with maybe a couple different shafts in them, so the customers can actually, try these out on the course also. This is the M-type forged wedge. This is one of the cleanest, nicest looking wedges I've seen in years. Reminds me a little bit of the old MP wedges from Mizuno. So there's just absolutely nothing I could even critique about this wedge. I love the shape of the toe again. I love the finish, the grooves right here versus the body of the iron. I like that little slight contrast there in that satin finish. The milled lines on the back of this club, if you can see that little milled crosshatch pattern on the back. It's absolutely gorgeous. Nothing out of place on these. Just I cannot get over the quality of these heads. And again, I've seen a lot of components through the years. There's always, with a component club, there's always something that you're seeing that is sort of bringing the quality down, just the aesthetics of it. Not new level. These look as good as any OEM I've seen. This is a 56 degree, 12 degree bounce sand wedge. Tons of relief here on the heel and toe. So if you've got an uneven lie or you're trying to shut the face down or open it up, a lot of playability. Looks to be a really nice rounded off leading edge for a sand wedge. Even has that grind along the back. So you don't have too much, even though it's a 12 degree bounce, when I guess that's, to a lot of people that may sound middle of the road to high bounce, but you do have a lot of relief on the heel and the toe and the trailing edge. So it's not going to play like a super high bounce wedge, doesn't look like. Just a nice middle of the road sand wedge, and judging by just the looks of this thing, how simple it is, I imagine this would be absolutely just like butter. Hitting this thing, chipping with it around the green, practicing out of the bunker. This I guarantee is a great feeling sand wedge. If it feels anything like it looks, then we're going to do very well with that wedge. Now this is a slightly different design here. This is the tri-weight series. You can get a look at that. And basically what they've done is these 3 weight screws in the toe right here is bringing the center of gravity down just a little bit. Nice milled designs here in the back. Very modern looking club here, but with the 3 weight ports right there. 56 degree, 10 degree bounce. Looks like even more of a C grind than the M-type more relief off the heel and the toe, and looks like even more aggressive grind along the trailing edge. Looks about like the same leading edge, but just again, super clean looking sand wedge, forged model. So it's going to play extremely soft, give you that pro trajectory. Just an unbelievable looking sand wedge. I mean, this is as far as component sand wedges, you know, you could make the mistake to say, well, a lot of wedges look alike, and I guess that's sort of true. They all have the same sort of design until you look really close. This line of wedges, to me, it's a 10 out of 10. I can't really critique anything about these. They're just classic design, everything you want as far as where the grinds are on the sole, the looks of them, the shapes of them, the height of the toe, the rounded toe. Everything fits my eyes perfectly, and I'm very curious to start hearing feedback from people to take these out and demo them and buy them and put them in the bag and start playing with them. But just absolutely great looking set of clubs. So I mean, the entire line looks fantastic. I'm really shocked. This is one of the few times that they do look as good in person as the website. So I'm extremely pleased about that. And again, these sleeves right here for the shafts. I do have shafts that are coming that we're going to put together. We're going to have a range of steel shafts from heavy to medium weight to light, different flexes and different lengths. So if there's a shaft that you like, if it's a lightweight steel shaft, if you're trying to go for a little bit more game improvement and go with the 1126, and you want a nice lightweight steel shaft, maybe like a True Temper Elevate or something like that, especially with the vibration dampening qualities like that, we're going to try a standard length. We're going to try, maybe an extra ½ inch length. So we're going to be able to try different lengths and basically build these exactly to your specs. Now these are going to be the forge lines. They're going to be in the sort of the higher end as far as price point. But once you see them, I think you'll not question why the pricing is what they are. And as a dealer, you can go to the website and have these built on the website, but the good thing about me as a dealer now, going through Golf Fit, is that I can actually get you the same price that's on the website. So to be able to go through a local club fitter, to basically have clubs built just like, for you, just like a tour van would build a set for a pro, and get the same pricing as the website, that's an extremely nice advantage of going through the local dealers. And just personally, I always offer a lifetime warranty on any craftsmanship. So if you ever needed a club head re-epoxied, or if you've got something epoxy breaks loose in the shaft a little bit, sometimes that can happen, and you've got a little bit of a rattle, all those things I would fix for you for the life of the club at no cost. So I'm excited for people to start trying these. I'll definitely give you an update when I get all the fitting system shafts in and put together. I think we're going to do really well in this part of the country. I think this is a perfect match for quality, price point, design, just everything. There's not a lot of golf shops around Lake Cumberland area in South Central Kentucky. So to be able to go to a club fitter and have these custom built for you, I'm just really excited to see what this is going to do. So if you want to see these, if you want to get scheduled for a fitting, go to the Facebook page at GolfFitKY, message me through there, or you can either call me. My phone number is 606-219-3038. You can email me, golfitky@gmail.com. Schedule me to set up a fitting. And again, give me a few days. I'll have the shafts put together for the fitting system, and we'll just go from there. So guys, get in touch with me if you want to see these new level irons go through the fitting system. I think you'll be extremely impressed. So thanks everybody for watching, and hit them well.